Episode 8 with Kate LaVergne. She's calling me. You're calling me. Hello?
Chest lock. Let's talk chest lock.
Hey, Kate?
Let's talk chest
Kate?
lock. Let's talk
Well, that was
chest
that's
lock.
due. She called me. I'm going to call her back.
Talk chest
You gotta
lock.
call right back.
Let's
Come happy.
talk chest lock. Let's talk chest lock.
Something happened.
Let's
Episode...
talk chest lock.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. What's up,
Okay.
Kate? You flipped the script on us over here. Usually I call people, but you called me. You jumped in. That was
I'm
good.
so sorry.
No, you don't have to be apologetic at all. I like that. That was interesting.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Oh, hi.
I didn't mean to throw you guys off.
You didn't throw nobody off. You actually woke us all up, actually. You may have made another person out of that one. Who knows?
No, man, don't talk about that now. Be careful. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Kate, how was your day?
It was good.
Yeah.
You know, just busy out there, saving lives, catching Bigfoot, all the regular stuff.
Are those two projects synonymous?
Weirdly, yes,
Okay. Now you live in New Jersey, right?
I do.
Yeah, I've heard that Bigfoot is frequents New Jersey. I've heard there's lots of urban legends that come out of New Jersey, in fact.
Oh yeah, I mean we've got the Jersey Devil, but why stop when you have just a devil? I mean, some people want a whole pantheon of evil, so let's just start pulling them all in.
You know,
So that's why we have Shoobies.
Yeah? What?
Wait a minute.
I said that's why we have Shoobies, to add to our pantheon of evil.
What's the Shuby?
People who go down the shore that aren't from the area. So it's a lot of, sorry, because this is probably you guys, a lot of people from Philadelphia, and they're called that because you wear socks and shoes on the beach instead of flip-flops or being barefoot.
Well, so I'm originally from Florida, so I wouldn't be wearing socks and shoes on the beach.
Oh, thank God for that. Okay. Dodged the bullet there.
So if I come from another area to your beach, but I'm on your beach and I'm wearing barefoot, or I'm wearing barefoot, there's big.
You're wearing Bigfoot, like a coat?
I'm wearing Bigfoot. There's Bigfoot again. He got in the conversation again. You see? So then I'm not a Shooby, or is it just because I come from another area, I am a Shooby?
So as long as you're not wearing, you're not acting like an obnoxious tourist, and you're not wearing socks and shoes at the beach,
No,
you can fly under the radar. If you're from Florida, I feel like you get a pass.
I think that, you know, being from Florida, you're sort of invading everywhere you go. So I mean, that's always how I kind of felt. Not at all. I just made that up. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, because you feel like you have to say something negative about yourself in order to fit in. That's why. Hey, how you doing, Kate? My name's Augie. Pleasure to have you on the show.
Okay, so having me, Augie. My name is still Kate.
Very good. Very good.
So Bigfoot, urban legends. You mentioned the Jersey Devil. I watched a show on urban legends and stuff. They mentioned the Jersey Devil, and there was some veterinarian who's like, "No, it's just an owl." It's just an owl.
It's a really old owl from the 1600s or 1700s.
It's just a particular owl, and then there was the thing. There was some kind of an animal that they found near 3 Mile Island, that's not New Jersey. That's Pennsylvania or New York.
Pennsylvania.
Yes, that's Pennsylvania. See, again, originally from Florida, so some of these old legends from the Northeast, I'm still putting it together. I've been here since 2010, though, so, you know, I consider myself a Northeastern person at this point. I have a property I own, so there's that too. Anyway, they found like a corpse of a thing, and people thought that it was some kind of a mutated animal from the 3 Mile Island meltdown. You know, because it was found nearby, and again, they like spent 20 minutes into the show. Then they got to the veterinarian, and the veterinarian's like, "No, it's just a dead dog. It's just a dead dog." Yeah,
I feel like all the different urban legends, like 94% of them are just a dead bear that had mange.
Right.
So like it's the skinwalkers or something, and they're like, no, it's just a bear with mange.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jersey Devil, I know you said you've been here for the last 14 years. Do you know the legend of the Jersey Devil?
Give me the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, give us the
Sure.
Cliff Notes.
So it goes, there's a woman, there's the Leeds family, and they did exist. There's Leeds Point in New Jersey. When I was in the 4th grade, you could still apparently see the foundation of the house that they lived in. The Leeds family, they lived up by Waretown in New Jersey, and Mrs. Leeds had 12 children, and she was laboring with the 13th, and it was long and hard and difficult, which could describe a lot of things, but in this case it was childbirth. And she finally was so over it that she screamed out something to the effect of, "Let this one be a devil then, just get it out of me." And the legend goes the baby was born normal for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden it grew cloven hooves and horns out of its head and wings out of its back, and then it tore around the house and then flew out of the chimney. So it's been rumored that that's the origin of the cryptid. And there have been spottings all over New Jersey and the surrounding area, even up where I grew up in Riverside, Delanco area of New Jersey on the Delaware side for literally hundreds of years now.
I wonder if it be true then that creature that was born that day, or that little baby that transmogrified or what have you, like in what year was this that it started? 18 something.
16 or 17 something, I believe. I think it was pre-Revolutionary War. I remember it being a really, really, really old story. I could be wrong. I could probably Google it.
No, I like it. I like
facts,
speculating on the time. I like you went 18, 17, 16, and then the clothing changed in my head like so fast. It's almost better to not know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's a legend, but I do know it's at least a couple hundred years old. Batstow Village down not that far from where I live now, they used to sell like books, little booklets about it with the different sightings in there, and they would do like haunted walks back in the 90s. I remember they're doing something where you could like try and spot the devil. Yeah, it's really cool. It's nice having yes, there's Bigfoot, but it's nice having our own local monster terrorists. Because you know what they say, shop local. That's why that's where Jeffrey Dahmer went wrong, really.
He went outside of his neighborhood.
Yeah, it's just you can't guarantee freshness to go that far away from home.
See, what Tony wants to get into is, like, if the thing was 400 years old, like, is that the one, is it still alive, or did it breed with the natural selection of things and, like, breed mutated beasts that, like, keep fucking each other and make more of themselves, you know what I mean? Or is it like... Or is it like a mogwai? You get it wet and it pops shit out its back.
So I think it's either like a mushroom, or that may have been the origin of a lot of the politicians we see today. Which is why I'm here. Give me something to do to avoid watching the debate tonight.
Yeah. Okay, I know. That's a monster movie in itself.
Agreed. So that's really what you're watching, is you're watching the ancestors of the Jersey Devil if you are watching the debate tonight. So good for everybody involved.
That's really educational. I appreciate you giving us such good context, Kate. That's wonderful. Yeah. I want to talk about the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, the Yeti. That has so many names.
Yeah.
There's one that they call it, from where I'm from in Central Florida. They call it the Swamp Cabbage Man.
Oh.
Yeah, the Swamp Cabbage Man. It's like the same thing, but they settled down south in the southeast, like by the swamps, and they call it the Swamp Cabbage. They call it Swamp Cabbage Man. Yeah.
I've never heard of that. I've heard of skunk cabbage, which is an actual water plant up here, but I've never heard of a swamp cabbage man.
Yeah, Swamp Cabbage Man is like when Bigfoot retires, they go down to the southeast like everybody else does.
Has he turned vegan? Is that why there's the cabbage involved?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure with the cabbage is. Maybe it's because it looks like he's wearing swamp cabbage on his carcass and lumbering around. I don't have as much in-depth information about it as you did with the Jersey Devil, unfortunately.
He can't live up to the standards of what he's trying to say, Kate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's okay. Weirdly, at no point did I have on my bingo card for today in-depth, detailed information on Swamp Cabbage Man. So you're good.
Likewise. Yeah, we didn't either. So, you had a good day. What did you have for breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast.
Okay.
So I had some black coffee around 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I actually ate was buffalo cauliflower salad from a place called Lesby Veggies near me.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. That's good. You said we talked about this before. What do you do for a day job? What do you do for work?
So I work for a home care company.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, me too. That's where we had to connect from before. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm not in the field. I'm non-clinical, but I do the non-clinical side for the company in my area.
The intake stuff and the assignment stuff and what have you.
A little bit higher level than that, but I do support that.
I got you. You're getting the referrals. You're doing the marketing stuff. Sounds like maybe.
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too in depth because I don't want to give away where it is that I work.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right.
Just in
Losing the
case.
thread.
But that is an element of what I do. I do a little bit of everything. I do a lot of like leadership coaching, that kind of stuff.
Oh, fun. Leadership coaching. That absolutely sounds like you for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So I'd imagine like you use some of the skills in stand-up to do that kind of part of your work. Am I right?
Definitely. So one of the things I think that translates the most is knowing how to read the room you're in and find the funny, break the tension, especially if you're doing anything with someone who maybe is new, or if you have to have a really difficult conversation. There could be times when maybe someone's not taking as constructive an approach with a difficult situation, and being able to kind of diffuse the tension either with a joke or to find a way to resonate with somebody and connect with them. It's such a big part of stand-up, and it's such a big part of leadership that there's a lot of overlap there.
You have to make a relationship with the person that's in front of you, and therefore you have to be sensitive to what they may be feeling without them saying it. Therefore, reading the room and finding commonality. Oh, yeah, that's especially difficult whenever it's a difficult conversation. I guess the stand-up version of that would be when you're bombing, you're having a difficult...
when you're bombing or you're being heckled, but by someone who's not enjoying. Like, I love being heckled. I think it's so much fun going back and forth. I love crowd work, but when you're having it done by someone who maybe is not enjoying the process at all, you're like, why are we both here right now?
I got you. Yeah, right. Well, that's whenever you do like a show where people didn't know there was going to be a show.
Exactly. So, like, I was just trying to eat a mediocre cheeseburger in peace.
Right. Or if if it's an employment situation, like I was just trying to collect an easy paycheck and not do my job. Anyway.
Exactly. Like, you mean I have to show up like on time?
Yeah, you mean I have to be
like within an hour of when I was. Yeah, I was supposed to work. Oh wow,
that's
I
general
misunderstood this assignment.
I think that's general enough to where it won't get you in trouble with your employer. Like that goes for just about any job out there, Kate. I think that you're going to be good. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit. Also, like you're a mom, right? You have 2 kids.
I am. Yep, I have 2 boys.
Yeah, and how old are your boys? How old are your kids?
We have an almost 10-year-old, so we're nearly to double digits, which gave me both white hair and agita. And then my youngest one is 3 and feral.
Yeah, right. Okay, I gotcha. So how do you manage to balance doing stand-up while also being a mom and working and all that other thing? That sounds like a lot of balancing acts.
It is. So the thing that definitely helps the most with that is my husband is very supportive, as is my family. I couldn't do what I do if I didn't have the support system in place that I have. So I know that if I get booked on a show or if I have a commitment doing a podcast, I can always rely on someone to help with watching the kids. But also a lot of it comes down to time management and what was referred to me before by someone I've worked with as sway. So there's times where you're going to have competing priorities, and that's okay. You kind of sway towards the one that's more important. So maybe right now the kids are covered, so work's more important. So I'm doing some more work right now, but I'm going to make up for it later and sway back to the kids. So it's like the trade-off of I'm working till 6 p.m. tonight, but then I'm going to put the kids to bed. Or maybe I have a show tonight, but tomorrow morning I'm going to take them out for breakfast. So you kind of lean a little bit from one side to the other for the different things you have going on, or for me, the different things I have going on. And it allows there to be balance. It's not always balanced, dead even, but you look back over a period of time and you've swayed enough from one side to the other that ideally things are shaken out pretty evenly. And the nice thing about having a kid who's a little bit older and one who's a little bit younger is I can get pretty clear perspective on them if they feel like they're not getting enough attention, because my 3-year-old will flat out climb all over me screaming, which happened earlier today because I had to take a phone call, versus my 10-year-old will come up later on and be like, I feel like I didn't really spend any time with you today. And I try to avoid getting to that part,
Sure.
But I do make it very clear, especially with him, because he is a little older, that if he feels that if I'm not swaying right, if I'm not balancing things up and giving him what he needs, that I want him to feel comfortable speaking up and telling me and not keeping that inside. Because if I may think that things are going great and everything seems balanced, but he knows how he feels, and he can tell me, I feel like I'm not getting enough from you. And we check in with each other every day, both before and after work. I ask how his day was, but also what does he need? What do you need from me right now? Do you want to play by yourself? Do you want me to read to you? Do you want me to play with you? And make sure that we're at a spot where everyone feels like they're getting what they need.
That is such a gift you've given that young kid, to be able to speak to what he needs in a constructive and balanced manner, and not because if you don't get what you need and you don't speak about it, it's gonna come out in this really weird, morphed, mutated, probably angry version of you communicating. Do you know what I mean? That's...
Oh, I 100% know what you mean.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be it's simple. Yeah. It starts as simple as I'm not spending enough time with mom, for example, and then it morphs, or whatever it happens to be, I don't like the way you're doing this, or I'm not getting enough of that. It can come out initially no pressure at all, maybe a little bit awkward at first, and then you get muscles to be able to communicate that. The more you do it, the more confident you get, and you're going to get some good feedback. That's what relationships are all about, right? But if you don't give them the tools for that, it can come out instead of it being something I think I would really like it if you could spend more time with me doing this, and that's wonderful. Good for you. That's great mom work by you, Kate. That's great. Yeah, sounds like you have. Sounds like their dad is really balanced and supportive as well. Sounds like you have a great family. That's perfect. That's beautiful, and kind of a different vibe for not all stand-ups necessarily. There are there's a lot of misanthropic energy sometimes with stand-up, and it's nice to hear somebody talk about the support they get from their family. That's cool.
Well, thank you. I'm really, really lucky. I know it's kind of maybe a little bit more of a unique scenario in some ways, but I will say it did take a lot of work for us to get where we're at. It wasn't always like that.
No, right?
And I'm fortunate. My own mom, again, can't give away where she works or what really she does, but essentially her job, the majority of my late childhood and early adult life, is to teach parents how to be parents.
Oh.
So I've had a really good role model in that. And so when things maybe weren't as healthy and balanced as they are now, going back to when my son was very, very young, he was only maybe between 1 and 3 where we were really kind of getting things worked out. She gave a lot of really good guidance, and that's what set these practices in place to have these productive conversations. And with my husband, having the same kind of communication where we're taking a moment to step back and say, this is what I need from you, and is this what you need from me? Because it goes back to the whole, something she says too, you shouldn't treat others how you want to be treated. You should treat others how they want to be treated. And
I've never heard that before.
Framing,
I like that.
Yeah, it kind of ties into the idea even of like love languages, because everyone's is different. So just because for me, I feel that it's important to have, words of affirmation. For my husband, it's more things like acts of service. And so if I were to treat him with how I want to be treated and just say you're doing great, that wouldn't necessarily be enough or wouldn't be what he's looking for validation. And same with if he just did stuff for me but didn't tell me I was, doing great or how much he loved and valued me, I might not interpret that the same way. But it takes a lot of work to get to where we're at. And it's always, every relationship, even with my kids, with my husband, with the people I work with, always a work in progress. Things always are growing and changing and evolving.
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of keep your head geared towards the idea that it's always a work in progress, and it's okay for it not to be perfect, and for it to sometimes feel rough, and then sometimes it's going to feel really smooth, and like it's okay to enjoy it when it's really smooth and not expect it to be rough again at some point. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of like it took me a very long time.
Listen, it took him a very long time, because I live inside of his head, and I see all this shit going around. It took him a very long time.
It took me a very long time to get to the idea, and I'm still not there yet, but like outcome independence and just enjoying the fact that, the work is the fun part. And I want to go back to what you said about sway. That's a really fun way to look at that, because I know for me, I have a job and I have a career, and I really do love being a physical therapist, but I also really do love being creative, and I really do love being a dad, and I really do love being a partner, and I really do love cutting my grass, and I really do love going to this, and I really do. I'm very interested in a lot of things, and there's no bloody way to work on all of them and be perfect at all of them, or even be present for all of them all the time. Mm-hmm. But I think if you look at it like sway, then it's more like
what he's trying to say is it's more like being on a circus ride. It's like you're enjoying yourself, like you're on the playground.
Yeah, very much. That's kind of how I see it, like that, or even like I love dance, but it's even like a dance a little bit. And you think about even with relationship with friends, there's sway there too. Sometimes you're going to be really close, and sometimes you're going to be further away. Doesn't mean it's not valid. Doesn't mean it's not a friendship. It just means right now in your life, you're moving in a slightly different direction, and you'll be back again when things are right.
Yeah, right. That's really cool. Oh wow, what a nugget! That is really good nugget. Kate, have you used that? Yeah, you've used that before, right? The concept of sway. You did say that there's something that you had spoken of before, or like related to other people before, right?
Yeah, so I had it was first presented to me by someone I work with, and I greatly admire. Wonderful, wonderful leader, and that was how they described it. And once I sort of adopted their mindset, and looked at things like that, my whole perspective shifted, and suddenly things felt a lot less overwhelming, because not everything needs to be 100% right now, right here, all the time. And that was very much how I was before. I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I feel like you can't be in comedy without being a member of the alphabet soup of mental diagnoses. Everyone gets one. And some people even get more than one. So that's the one that I'm willing to admit. The ADHD is the one that I'm in denial about. And so for me to not have everything perfect all the time has been something. I mean, I had a therapy appointment this afternoon. It's still something I work through. But the concept of sway is my guidepost I head back to, and it is something that I have mentioned before to other people that. Once I found that it was working for me, I was like, yeah, this definitely, it makes it calling things a balance. I think, again, you're lining the percentages up to even. It has to kind of teeter back and forth a little.
Well, I would say that sometimes Tony is MIA. And sometimes that he goes MIA ASAP. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back into the brainstem. That was Blobby. He didn't get much of a chance to. Real quick, hi, Kate. Nice to meet you. My name's Blobby.
and it's been a real pleasure being in the background for this whole thing, because the whole idea of thinking of it like you're dancing, as you said, makes it, well, some people are afraid of dancing, so maybe, for folks who are afraid of dancing, perhaps maybe it doesn't take the pressure off, because I know I was afraid to dance when I was younger. But anyhow, the relief on the idea of thinking of it like that is almost palpable. It's like you open up a damn pressure valve, and it ain't all that deep, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you can always try again at some other point, or swing it hither and thither. That's great. Good stuff, Kate. Thank you very much for that one. I'm going to go back to the background now.
Well, you're welcome. It was lovely to meet you.
Well, thank you very much. Now I'm embarrassed, and I'm going to go even further into the background.
Kate, that's I would imagine that energy that you've given to yourself, like adopting that, your kids, your two boys, right? You have two boys?
Yeah, two boys.
Yeah. What great, they're gonna pick up on that. And and as they're developing, that stuff is gonna be kind of hardwired into who they are, because they're not completely developed yet. And it'll be baked into who they are, and what a wonderful thing, and who knows what they'll do with it.
Well, thank you. I hope so. I think sometimes I get to see nuggets of it, again, with the older one more than my little guy, where, like with him, with his baseball, he's super into baseball. He loves sports. And then being able to balance that and his schoolwork back when school is going on for homework, or, other things we have going on, or when there's days where we have maybe different, like there's a birthday party we're going to, and then we have to stop at a grandmother's house. And I think for him too, knowing that, like, we're okay to do these different things and different levels of energy in different places at different times.
Yeah.
He's a very, very chill kid. And he's definitely a lot more zen than I ever was as a child. I'd like to think I've gotten to help a little bit with that, but...
Oh, man, if I'm sorry to talk over you, but I just had to say, like...
No, go for it. I want to hear.
I feel that way about my 11-year-old, just... She's way further along on the development in many regards than I was at her age, and it's just brilliant, and I'm like so happy that me and her mom have been able to to give that to her. I'm a co-parent, so like my daughter goes back and forth between two homes, so it's got a couple more moving parts, which makes like the making time for stand-up in some ways easier during certain days of the week, and in some ways harder in other days of the week, because then it's like I don't necessarily have someone to pick up on it always. It's like a tiered system. But anyway, I feel you on that one. I've got a daughter that is kind of going along on the same track, and I've been able to, and me and her mom have been able to give her similar tools, and it's like, good job, man. That's great, because let me tell you what, the world needs people like that, and it ain't gonna get it ain't gonna get easier, and the need for that kind of energy is never gonna run out.
No, I agree with you, and I give you and your co-parent a lot of credit, especially with when you get to middle school. I was a substitute teacher for a little bit, and I used to say 7th grade girls, so just a year older than your daughter, were the bane of my existence, because they could be so mean. And I think now, where we're at now compared to when I was doing that, God, almost maybe 10, 11, 12 years ago, I think people are a lot more cognizant of needing to support their kids' emotional development and giving more space to allow them to breathe.
Word.
And as a result, I mean, the kids in my son's school, and I'm sure your daughter is similar to this, they just seem a lot calmer and just nicer to each other. Again, we're dealing with 9, not quite 11, but it's a very different environment today than what maybe I grew up with. And not for the better in some ways, but definitely in others.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, listen, Kate, I think I gotta let you go, because I've ended up where I needed to be, and I hope you have too. And real quick, I am going to be on a show that you're producing on Sunday in New Jersey. At Sumplace Else. That's the name of the place, or is that the name of the show? I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's the name of the place.
Okay, great. Yeah. Someplace Else. Show starts at what time is it
7
again?
p.m.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Free of charge, right?
Yep, free of charge. Two item minimum, but that's literally any item. And usually they've got some $2-3 drink specials going on. So
cool. Well, we'll put
great
the link
value
in the show notes, and I'll put this up. I'll put this up before the show. And you're doing a show before that, the same day, right? Like a daytime show. That sounds fun and interesting and different.
Yeah, thank you. It's a doubleheader day for me. I'll be down in Wildwood doing an early morning show. So you grab a cup of coffee over at the Bagel Time Cafe in Wildwood, and I'll be over there hopefully making people laugh hard enough that the back of their nostrils burn just a little bit.
All right now. All right, Kate. Well, thank you very much. Have a great night.
Kate, thank you so
You
much
too.
for coming around. We appreciate it. And I like how you flipped the script when you called us instead of the vice versa. It fucked Tony up it fucked him up. It totally fucked him up.
It really did. I generally don't like seeing Tony get upset, but this time it was quite entertaining. Very good.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on. I really loved getting a chance to speak to and meet with all of you.
All right. I'll see you, man. I'll see you Sunday. Take care.
All right. You too.
All right,
Bye.
bye. Kate LaVergne, everybody. That was great. Hey, listen. Thank you so much for listening to Let's Talk Chest Lock. Episode, whatever it is. I think at this point we're at episode 8. I keep getting it wrong.
You keep getting it wrong. Why do you keep getting the numbers wrong? Is it because you're not good at math?
It's because I'm not good at math. So yeah, it's Let's Talk Chest Lock, episode 8. And like, subscribe. Yeah. Just do it. Episode 8. Bye.
Let's talk chest lock.